XRP, we start with the power chart. And if you refer to our analysis, I mentioned with the breakout of 2.9, we can look for 3.35 following by 3.81. As we can see, the price tagged the first target, but it couldn't reach the second. Just tagged the after the breakout of the 3.35, it only reached 3.6. All right. Anyway, we were expected with the breakout of 3.35, we were expected the price consolidate here, but as we can see, the price drop almost near to 2.9, near to the 3. It haven't reached the 2.9 yet. All right. We did not expect this one, but anyway, the price, the only thing is tagged the first target. It couldn't reach the second target. And right now we want to see what's the next. At this point, I'm looking at the 2.9 as a support because with the breakout of 2.9, then from there we can look for 1.97. That's why if anyone wants to look for buy at this point, they have to be quite careful. All right. Now for me, if I want to look for buy, I prefer the price start to consolidate here, following by divergence based on lower time frame. Then if I get any reversal, any opportunity for buy, I will take it. All right. But at this point, we don't have any trade setup, and we want to see whether the price can break 2.9 or not. All right. That's why if anyone wants to look for buy at this point, they have to be quite careful. And if we move to 1 hour chart, all right, for me, from what we have right now, because the price couldn't tag the lowest price of this shadow, I mean, I don't consider as a divergence. As I mentioned, if the prices start to consolidate here, following by divergence, I mean, if the price tag this low, then any opportunity for buy from there, I will take it. It doesn't mean we cannot look for buy. We can take the trade based on lower time frame, but we should consider we are trading within this correction. But if we get any opportunity for buy, the price could break this top following by 3.35, then we could look for continuation. All right. But how we can look for trade, as I mentioned, if the price retests this low following by divergence, then from there for me, I will look for buy. But at this point, I prefer to wait. And if we move to higher time frame based on monthly chart, the price could break the all-time high, but it couldn't stay above that. Right now, the price is somewhere around 3. That's why we have to be quite careful, because even in the next a few days, if the price couldn't retest or break the all-time high, then we can expect this one turn to a more complex correction. That's why I mentioned with the breakout of the all-time high, I was looking to see the breakout of 4.2. I mentioned the 4.2 in my last analysis. I mentioned the 4.2 is not the target. I'm looking with the breakout of the all-time high. I want to see the breakout of 4.2. Then from there, it can give us a confirmation for continuation or at least 5.4. All right. And right now, we have to wait. We want to see how this one behave, whether we get the deeper correction or not. And if I move to weekly chart, similar explanation, and even with the breakout of this top, we see we had a divergence. That's why we can expect this one turn to a deeper correction, more complex before we see the continuation. That's why we have to wait for another at least 1 or 2 days and see how this one behave. All right, that means we don't, at this point, we don't see any confirmation whether the price can continue or drop. And if we move to daily chart, similar explanation. That's why if anyone wants to look for buy based on 1 hour chart, all right, if we get a divergence reversal as a flag, sharp move flag, then from there we look for buy. And at this point, for me, I'm not really interested to look for trade. I prefer to wait. And we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.